You know that feeling, right? You're messing around with a super powerful AI. You ask it for something creative, and what you get back is just kind of meh, a little repetitive, a little boring. Well, turns out you're not imagining it. It is a massive problem, even for the biggest AI models out there. And today, we're going to look at a wild new way to fix it. So let's set tiny little bug we're talking about. It's a full-on creativity crisis for AI. These models have seen basically all of human knowledge, but for some reason, they keep getting stuck in a rut, spitting out the same kinds of answers again and again. Now, there's a technical name for this. It's called mode collapse, and the best way to think about it is to imagine a brilliant chef. The chef knows how to cook everything, has all the ingredients in the world, but no matter what you ask for, all they ever make is spaghetti. That's mode collapse. The AI has all this potential, but it just defaults to the same safe, boring, predictable stuff. And for a long time, everyone thought this was just some deep, unavoidable flaw in the AI itself. But here's where the whole story just flips on its head. Researchers started thinking, wait a second, what if the AI isn't the one to blame here? What if the real reason for this creative breakdown is us? This leads us to the real culprit in this whole story. And it's not some bug buried deep in the code. Oh no. It's a quiet, hidden bias that we, humans, have been feeding these AIs from the very beginning. And this culprit has a name: typicality bias. It's actually a classic idea from psychology. Think about it. When you go to the store, you're probably going to pick the most normal-looking apple, right? Not the weird, lumpy one. Well, that same exact instinct has been accidentally poisoning our AI. The research paper we're looking at today says it perfectly. Our brains are just hardwired to like things that feel familiar and, well, typical. So when we hire people to rate AI responses to make the AI better, what do? We subconsciously give higher scores to the most generic, average, unsurprising answers. We've been training our AIs to be boring without even knowing it. And this kicks off a really nasty, vicious cycle. Look, it goes like this. We rate the AI's answers. Our brains naturally lean towards the typical ones. This creates biased data. Then that biased data is used to train the AI. So what happens? The AI learns our bias and gets even more typical. And the whole cycle just keeps repeating, squeezing all the creativity and diversity right out of the system. We literally built the cage the AI is stuck in. But, okay, here's the good news. This is the exciting part. Now that we know what the problem is, the solution is, well, it's shockingly simple. It's elegant. You don't have to rebuild these giant models. It's something anyone can do right now with just a clever little prompt. It's called verbalized sampling, or VS for short, and it's just a prompting strategy. That means no expensive retraining, no changing the model at all. All you do is you ask the AI to kind of think out loud to show you its work by assigning a probability to all the different answers it was considering. And this is a huge deal. The old way of thinking was, we have to fix the algorithm, a process that takes months and millions of dollars. The new way is to fix the data by changing how we ask for it. So we go from months and millions to seconds, for free. It's a total paradigm shift. And this is what it actually looks like. That's it. It's that simple. Instead of just saying, tell me 5 coffee jokes, you add, and their corresponding probabilities. Just by asking it to explain its choices, you force the AI to dig deeper, to explore the less common, more interesting options, instead of just blurting out this single most obvious answer. So, does this little trick really work? I mean, it sounds almost too simple, right? Well, this is where it gets really, really cool. The researchers put verbalized sampling to the test, and the results? They're a huge win for AI creativity. Just by asking the model to show its work, they saw this massive explosion in the diversity of its answers. It completely shattered that mode collapse we were talking about. But just how big of an increase are we talking about here? For creative writing tasks, they saw a 1.6 times increase in diversity. Let me say that again. That is a 60% boost in creativity just by adding a few words to a prompt. But that was just the starting point. In some tests, the diversity more than doubled, a 2.1 times increase. It just completely snaps the model out of that creative rut. I mean, just look at this. This visual tells the whole story. On the left, you've got your standard prompt. That's your baseline. And on the right, that giant leap, that's what you get with verbalized sampling. This isn't some small incremental improvement. This is a fundamental unlock for these models. So let's wrap this all up. That creative rut AIs get stuck in, it's called mode collapse. And it turns out the cause wasn't the AI's fault. It was a reflection of our own typicality bias. But the fix isn't some complex algorithm. It's a super simple prompt trick called verbalized sampling. It costs nothing, requires zero retraining, and can literally more than double the creative diversity you get. This technique is out there right now for anyone to use. It hands a huge amount of creative power back to us. So I guess the only question left is a pretty exciting one. Now that you know how to unlock twice the creativity from pretty much any AI, what are you going to build with it?